We good? All right. All right. Let's see. Club business. Before we get into, we got a lot going on. Lori alluded to chili cook-off. We got a lot going on internally as well as externally. So internally, I'm going to let Dee, our newest member, Miss Garland. You know you're going to be Dee Garland from here on out, right? Have you met Dee? Do you know Dee Garland? Have you met her?
I know. I recognize the name.
Great lady. So it's a compliment that I call you Dee Garland. I apologize. Dee's going to bring us up to speed. She's been working really hard, making sure we have enough volunteers, getting the prep and the cook time ready to go for us internally. So Dee, if you want to give us an update on what needs and wants.
I certainly can, and I will say I thought it was an excellent segue. Your chili and your chili. And I would like to say, although I appreciate the kudos of working hard, it's actually quite easy to do this because everybody steps up to the plate. So it makes somebody who's looking for volunteers makes that job really easy. Thank you to everybody that responded quickly. I know you want those perfect spots so you get in there fast. We basically are only have 2 slots that are left open. We have a Friday from 1 o'clock, and it's just a hour and 20 minutes.
1:30.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1:30. This is 1.
Yeah.
I'll fix that.
1:30.
Excuse me.
And it's to help set up, and then we have one 5:30 to 7:30 shift on the serve and sell. If anybody here is not signed up and would like to.
I'll take that 1 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you. 1:30, yeah. See what happens? Okay, and then that just leaves 1 slot for 5:30 to 7:30. We currently have 5, and I'm here, but I kind of have myself at the beginning and the end. And where's Vicky?
Here.
Did you see my email the other day? I had sent out that cooking was done. I don't have day availability, so I was cooking at home. I sent you one saying, if you want to come to my house and cook on Friday night, you're more than welcome.
Okay.
So,
Do you need any more help or hands with that?
no, it's actually a very simple recipe,
Okay.
so it makes it really easy to put together. It's and there's not even a lot of dicing and slicing and all of that. So it's one nice thing about having a recipe you're not familiar with, and it doesn't have a lot of cutting to do. Cooking ground, 30 pounds of ground beef now, that's a little different story. I will need to reach out to the folks, and I got a little bit of information from Patsy on this. I was very inquisitive as to how this was served and how it stayed hot. I understand that you have ovens or okay, so I need to talk to anybody that in the past has partaken in those utensils to keep things warm and served. So I have some, but I just need to coordinate with those people to make sure everything is there. I do have an idea for decorating because I understand there's $100 out there and you should at least try.
Yeah.
Never hurts to try. And so I might reach out to a couple people today and see if they can assist me. You might be one of them. So that's where we're at. We're in good shape.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for keeping the emails flowing, keeping everybody in the know, and everybody stepping up. We really appreciate it. Externally, Ron, you want to give us an update? I can say we still have some tickets internally that folks have taken out that I haven't received money for. I've gotten a ton of money in, but not all of it. So if you've got some ticket money outstanding, you want to get it to me in advance, that would be great. We want to try to keep it all together so Rotary is all in one bundle. We committed to sell a minimum of, 60? Is that right, Ron? Which we should be able to do very easily, given the amount of tickets that have gone out of here. But I'll let Ron kind of take it from here.
Okay. Thanks, Jonathan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Couple things on the warming. We have shaping dishes with sterno so you can keep it warm. Everybody has to have, that's behind the counter, has to have gloves on. So remember that, because the health department does come every year and they check. So we don't want to get in trouble. And the chili should be about 140 degrees. I think that's the health department requirement. So stick your finger in. Oh, I mean, whatever. Oh, and
Create business for the rescue squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We have 550 tickets out, and based on what I've seen from some of the other organizations and here, as well as the rescue squad, I know we're well over 400, probably 420 that we already have sold. So we should have another big crowd, and I hope you all come. I thought I'd real quick just mention, I asked Jim to be my person on the other side. Huh?
No.
No, not yet. Not yet. All right. All right. So if you're having trouble selling tickets, I thought maybe we'd just, show you how you might be able to sell a ticket. So Jim, if you'd stand up. So I just run into Jim, in Food Line, and I say, Jim, I guess you've got your tickets for the biggest winter event ever this coming Saturday, right?
What? Where?
No. Say what you're supposed to say.
No.
What? What? You don't have tickets? This is the biggest event of the winter. We have 500 people there. All your friends are there. I'll tell you what.
Friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What friend?
I'll tell you what. I can make you a deal. We have one ticket for 15. If you want to bring Ginger, 2 tickets for 30. It's a great deal, right?
Boy, that's a special
It's
deal.
a special deal. And if you don't come, people are going to note that you're not there. And I know you're a community leader, so I've got 2 tickets right here. Would you like your tickets now?
No.
Okay. All right. I am officially unliking you on Facebook.
Social media, that's a game.
That's right. So that's how you sell the tickets, right? It's easy to do.
Successful.
I'm glad you didn't do that to me, Jim. Sold the tickets.
That's right. Okay. Anything else on?
No, I don't think so.
Anybody have any questions on the chili cook-off? Come. We're going to have beer and wine again for the Rotary. We can win this year, right? It's possible.
If it's not rigged.
It's not rigged.
Last year, the Russians got involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was terrible.
Do you want to stay up?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to ask Ron to stay up, but we're going to segue right real quickly into our corporate support solicitations. Ron's done a lot of hard work getting these letters ready. The packets are ready to go. We've decided this year, instead of mailing them off, we want to hand deliver them, which obviously that's too much for one person to do, too much for 2 people to do. It's about, what do we say, about 30 packets total? 28 to 30 packets total. If everybody in the club takes 1 or 2, we'll get it done quickly. The letters are great. It's got our sponsorship levels on there. What we need everybody to do, if you would, before you leave today, go to the back table, find one that's addressed to someone you may have a personal or professional relationship with that you would feel comfortable. It's not really a solicitation, which Ron will talk about. It's really just information that we're going to give them. Hopefully they'll want to support. If not, we'll follow up, that sort of thing. So, Ron, you're...
Okay, all right. And real quick, because I know Steve wants to talk for 30 minutes about his classification talk. If you would, take one of those. Couple of things. We have great sponsors. They help us every year. So one of the things that I thought would be helpful is that everyone here should have one of those sheets and know what we're asking people to do. And by the way, I have 4 of our club members who have always helped us. So I have yours right here in my hand. I'll give you those in a few minutes. All right. But the way it works is there's a letter signed by Jonathan that explains what we're doing, and we're asking for their help for the year, and we're doing this up front so we can plan and they can plan. So we're not going to come back to them, 5 times during the year. The second sheet that you all have a copy of, I hope, by now. Are we short? We're short some copies?
Everybody got one?
Okay, everybody got one. The second sheet is what they send back to us, and there is a stamped envelope addressed back to our P.O. box with the letter. So all we're asking you to do is, for example, Moens is over there. I know the new owners real well. And matter of fact, they're both chili cook-off judges. So I'll go in and hand them this letter and say, we appreciate your support in the past. What I'd like you to do is just look this over, and if you can help us in any of these areas, just circle it, send it back to me. That's all you have to say. You don't have to beg for money. You don't have to wait for money. It's not that kind of sell, right? It's just information, and tell them how to get the money back to us, all right? And if you want to shame him like I did with Jim, that's okay. But
That's on you.
I don't think you have to do that. The other thing that I thought of, because I'm in marketing, have been my whole life, is why not why not we, as a club, all be sponsors? No, I'm not asking you to all put in, I'm not asking you to put in $250. But what if 2, 3, 4 of us get together and put in, whatever, I'm not good on math. Jay, what's that? $45 each or something?
I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah, you get the idea. But anyway, let's form coalitions. And so 4 or 5 of us, get a sponsorship. And then we can say to the other people, everyone in Rotary is a sponsor. Not a bad idea, right? If you're really cheap, you can get 10 people, or whatever. 20? Huh? 20 people. We could do one sponsorship for $250. That's right. But think about that. Ask another Rotarian and see if we can get. I think it'd be great for us to do that. Okay, I've taken all of Steve's time.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you, Ron. And the businesses are very appreciative. They're obviously, most of you guys have had your own business or worked wherever, and you get solicited 4, 5, 6 times a year by the same organization. It gets a little frustrating. They're very appreciative if we can go to them one time a year. They can set in their marketing budgets for the year. So I think you'll find a lot of positive feedback from folks. Ron, thank you for taking care of that. On top of everything you're doing with Chili Cook-Off, we appreciate it very much. Real quickly, before we get to our presentation, Patsy had a quick thank you letter she wanted to read to everybody.
I'm gonna try to get through this without crying, I'm sorry. I haven't even read it all yet, because I started crying when I read it. But I just got this morning. It's from Justin Ochoa, I'm sorry. And it comes for you, all of you. I've never had an opportunity like this before. Back in the 7th grade, when the Costa Rica trip was offered to THMS upcoming 7th graders and the 7th grade, my mother agreed to let me go, but we soon fell behind on payments after my stepfather hurt himself in his line of work. My mother couldn't handle a family of 6 along with the Costa Rica payments she had to make, so she took me off the list. Then a few months later, I was told I had another chance to go. My 7th grade science teacher, Mr. Ligon, worked to be able to find a way for me to go. Thanks to you all, he was able to get the money, and now I'm going on what's soon to be the best trip ever. Thank you all for this amazing opportunity, and I wanted to express my thanks. Justice, I think it's Justice Ochoa. Thank you. So that's to you all. Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. All right. This is you used to be the new guy, and now we've brought on 2 new members. So you're like the wily veteran at this point, which you get bonus points because I've never seen a classification with a PowerPoint.
Oh, really? Well,
Nobody else in here. Anybody else have a
everything's
PowerPoint
new
for the
to me.
classification? You've set the bar very high for D. You and Brian. That's gonna be tough to follow up. I'm just saying. So. All right, outstanding. All right, Mr. Cohen, the floor is yours. Yes, sir, I got it.
Well, I was born and raised in Richmond. I went to Douglas Freeman High School, and then I went to the Medical College of Virginia. I don't know if we can cut the lights down a little bit. Those were my hippie days, and these are my working days when I was.
I wouldn't let that guy on the left be
So
my doctor.
I went to graduated from Old Dominion in '71. Went to medical college and finished there in '75 and did my residency. Started off in general surgery and then went into obstetrics and gynecology. I stayed on faculty to the mid-'80s. I started a private practice in '84 and built it to 6 physicians, and I was just bored to tears. We were really successful, but it was just work. So I went back to, actually I traveled for a year with my family in early '90s and then went back to the medical college after that in the early '90s and was on the faculty until I retired in 2014. Oops, whoa.
Those were the crazy years.
My love of the Bay started in the '50s. My parents, my father was in retail in Richmond, And every summer we went, this is Stingray Point Hotel, and we stayed there for 2 to 3 weeks, and Dad would commute. They had the greatest bowling machine with the little metal for a nickel. I love that. But anyhow, that's when my love of the Chesapeake Bay started.
Where'd your dad commute to?
Dad worked at Standard Drug in Richmond, downtown Richmond. So Mom stayed with the kids, and Dad would come down a couple of times a week. That's my wife, Libby. We were married in 1980. You know, it might work out.
It's 50/50.
This was on a trip last year to Paris. These are my siblings. The tallest guy is my oldest brother, Gary. He's a gastroenterologist, retired in Connecticut. My other brother's older than I am. He's the middle brother. I don't know what Sandy did. He worked for the NSA. I never knew what he did. And my youngest sister is probably the one I'm closest to. Those two were always fighting, and we were always hot. I have 3 sons. Oldest is in the middle. He's actually from a wife I had briefly after I married my high school sweetheart, and we had Eric, but it just didn't last. Eric's 44. Nick, the one on the left, is now 34. He's an air traffic controller in Washington Center, which controls the traffic from LaGuardia to South Carolina. It's kind of an interesting job. Sam's my youngest. He's one of the best tennis players I've ever seen. And he works for Microsoft Computer. That's just a more current picture. That was us at the beach last summer. This is a picture in front of my house in Richmond. I wanted you to see, I don't have a pointer. Let me show you. This is Libby with her and Sam, but this is her brother Tom, who was my closest friend. We fished together. His mom had a place on the North River, and we fished together forever. We even fish in anything, a John boat, a canoe. Anyhow, Tom got sick with, he was worked in furniture, and I think from breathing all that stuff, he had lung cancer. He stayed with us the last 6 months of his life. We took care of him. This is the day before he died. I took him fishing 2 of the last 3 of his, we had an oxygen tank I brought on the boat, but yeah, I miss him dearly. In my job, when I went back, I spent about, I worked with residents, so working with students is something I understand. I love it. So these are 2 residents and 2 medical students, so we're seeing patients in the office. They would see them, and then I'd follow up and see them with them. Most of my teacher was in the operating room. I wore the bouffant because I had all that hair. And it basically operated with 2 residents and a student, or a resident and 2 students, and I tried to let everybody participate. And my goal was to not let them screw up. So I'd take them as far as they could go, but you can really destroy somebody if you let them screw up early. So that's kind of what I did. My goal was to get them independent. So the 2 at the head of the table are upper level residents. So what I would do is start the case with them, and then I'd go drink coffee. and come back in 30 or 45 minutes and see how they were doing. And if they were doing good, I'd let them go, and sometimes I'd just scrub into, and they'd never know why I did it, so.
The patient didn't
But you
need
can
that.
say by the expression on their faces, they were doing good and very proud of themselves.
Of course, you didn't bill for that.
Well, nobody paid us. I was at the Medical College of Virginia. There was no money in
They
it.
say you get what you pay for, too.
Yeah. We did pretty good work. So, I'm gonna have you stop this now. This is just taken out, there's a million kind of ovarian tumors. This is one of my favorites. It's called a mature cystic teratoma or a dermal cyst. And we took it out, and it's interesting because it has all the tissue of the human body. Mesoderm, ectoderm, endoderm, and this one has hair, and then some teeth down there. And we show you one other one that's really interesting.
Please.
Everybody all right?
This is a little cyst. It's the same kind of tumor, but this tissue had a brain tissue. This girl was 29 years old and became psychotic in Walmart, and basically went to a mental hospital. They tried psychotropics, and they didn't work, and she started to, her vital signs started to deteriorate, so she was sent to the medical college. And I worked a lot with the people in the medical respiratory ICU, and they called me and said, we had a woman down here, and if she doesn't have rabies, I want you to take her ovary out. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So we went down and saw her, and it actually turned out this is a very unusual type of dermoid with brain tissue, and basically blocked her organic function from her brain. So it was pretty good. 29 days later, she was just learning how to speak again, and I saw her 2 years after that, and she was pregnant and doing fine. So it was really kind of a fascinating kind of tumor. This is for those who you think have a weight problem. I don't know. She was sent to us for abnormal uterine bleeding. We did not operate. I treated her with hormones, and she stopped. One of the problems with obesity is you make estrogen in fat tissue, and so it was just related. But all the work wasn't fun.
All the way.
I was a residency program director for 15 years, and so we had 4 years of residence. And I had a faculty advisor for each year, and I met with the groups each group once a week, so I could kind of see what was going on. This young man on the right is a fellow named Nico Chavez. He's from Paris. He used to come every summer, or Sam would go over there, and that's why we went to Paris last year, was for Nico's wedding. I discovered Airbnbs while we were in Paris. We rented a Airbnb with 2 bedrooms, living just like a nice apartment, and it was less than a week in Hatteras, I can tell you, for a month in Paris. So
Wow.
It was pretty cool. Let's say I'm on the right, his wife is Brianne, who's a nurse at the bone marrow transplant unit at MCV and is getting a nurse practitioner degree. So we're very proud of her. The kids thought I needed some companionship, so this was my Christmas present from the boys. So that's Mocha. She's a big dog.
Oh, shit. I thought it was a bear.
And I've always had boats. My first boat was when I was 26. It was a 20-foot Oday sailboat. And I got more into fishing later, so I got rid of it. And I had several small boats. And this was a gift to actually myself and the boys last year, which was Parker 2520. So mostly, I don't like to go out like I used to when it's just crazy rough, but the kids still do, and their mother wants them to come home. So that's
They're
why.
funny that way, aren't they?
Anyhow, that's kind of a. Any questions?
I was wondering if you could bring a couple of slides and show us to the chili cook-off.
Well, that was I didn't think they should go on the
Have it up on the wall.
Before I retired, I'd come down, I'd see Haskins, and I'd show him what I did that week on my phone, and he'd go, "What's that?" So, but it was really fun teaching. There's no greater gratification than taking someone who's really very timid and anxious and nervous and turning them into a competent surgeon that's an asshole. Pardon. That is confident enough to be a surgeon.
Very nice.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Well done. I don't know how you and Brian are gonna follow that up. That's tough.
I can do PowerPoint, but I can't compete with
You're not gonna go. That's a high bar to. That's a high bar to compete with. So, anything else for the good of the group before we go for the day, or full weight test? Excuse me. Wow. Hey, Vicky. Hey, you want this to go hit him with it? Go hit him. All right, if everybody will join me in the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do first. Is it the truth? Second. Is it fair or all concerned? Third. Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And fourth? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Go sell some chili tickets. We'll see you guys Saturday. Well done, Steve. That was great, man. You were perfect, right on time. Well done. Nice glimpse into your professional and personal life, and that's nice.
Nice job.
Well done.
Quite impressive.
Well done.
I don't know about that. It was outstanding. That was the best I've ever seen. As far as
Yes, ma'am. No. I was
Okay.
thinking about that the other day, and
I'm like, have I
know.
missed something? Because
No,
I know
you
I
haven't.
know I missed several meetings, so I'm like, maybe it was announced, and I'm embarrassed to say something
need to
because
give-
probably everybody else probably knows, and I
No,
don't.
it's been a week, and I haven't gotten with Jake. I'm going to shoot him an email today. Find out. I was hoping to, I don't know, change it up a little bit, make it a little different.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Just late in the game, I'm not sure. Because usually we do it at what, middle of February? Somewhere in that range. So. Yeah, no, that's not you. That's on me.
Okay.
I promise I'll get it done.
Yeah, usually it's in February because that's when the branch was
Exactly.
the branch, the club was chartered.
Here
but-
you're talking why stuff.
I know, I'm
Congratulations. How much longer we got? Once it's closed in, I know it moves a lot.
Yeah, it moves faster, but nobody can see everything that's being done, and so everybody's like, so what's going on?
Right.
Why can't you open?
Right.
We're
The
actually not
walls are up,
supposed
the roof's up. Why can't
Right,
we
why
go
can't you open? It's really not going to be open until sometime between July 1st and August 1st.
That's okay.
If we're really lucky, June 1st, but we're telling everybody July
Just to be
to
conservative.
August is when it should be, because with construction, you just never know.
Well, exactly. What kind of, yeah.
Exactly.
Believe me, I built a few in my day.
Yes.
Awesome.
Vicky's
Thanks.
already come in at the silver
Hey,
level.
hey,